Okay, now the first thing that we've got to deal with is this very slow drawing of the pictures on the page. What's happening is the PC is taking these pictures from the file that we have and it's putting them into its memory, into its RAM memory. And this makes it very difficult for it to do this because the files are so big. So what I'm going to do is go to File, Preferences, General, and you can see here the graphics display at the moment is high resolution. Now if I put it to standard resolution, what that means is that it will display them at the resolution that they are on the screen, rather than trying to load up the entire file into its memory every time we move the page about. And the moment I say OK on that, you can see now that I can move this page around and we get none of that redrawing problem that we had earlier on. So immediately we've solved the problem of how to actually get the pictures redrawn as we go along. Now if I've got a very, very big document, once I've got the pictures in place, I can even go one stage further than that. I can go File, Preferences, General, and have them grayed out. That means that we don't get any pictures at all. Now, I've got a friend who works in a book publishing company, and he does documents that are really about sort of 60 to 200 pages long, and he does this all the time because, quite frankly, the PC, or in his case the Mac, simply isn't pokey enough to deal with lots and lots of pictures in its memory. So he has all of them grayed out. Once he gets the layout right, he goes back and looks at them. Now, I'm not going to have them grayed out because, of course, we want to see what pictures we're dealing with here. So I'm going to go back to where we were before, go Preferences, General, and go to the standard again. Now, what we want to do is start looking at this issue of linking. And the analogy I'd like to use is this. If we do it as we had it last time, which was have all of the pictures inside the file itself, what we're doing when we go to the printer is effectively taking him a jigsaw puzzle that is already made, one big slab of jigsaw puzzle. And it's very big, and it's very unwieldy, and it's very difficult to manage. What we're going to do is take the jigsaw puzzle apart and have the layout in one little box, all the bits and pieces of the jigsaw puzzle that make the layout in one box, have all the bits and pieces that make up the pictures in another, all the text in another, and we can deliver these boxes separately to the printer, and then it becomes much more manageable. So how do we look at the links? Well, let's click on a picture, and if we've not clicked on a picture, by the way, we're not going to be able to see what the links are. And from there we go to File, Links Manager, which is just on the bottom third of that menu there. And from there we can see where each of these pictures is linked to. We've got the type of the file here, the document itself. We've got the kind it is, it's a JPEG and it's CMYK, and it's on page 1 of our document. Now if I want some info about Fence 2, I go to Info, and it tells me that this is where the picture itself is kept. Now that information is absolutely important, because if we're going to take the picture out of the document, it needs to know where the picture is so it can pull it back in again to reassemble all the pieces of the jigsaw puzzle later on. So for the time being, we'll leave that as it is. We'll say OK, we'll cancel it. I could actually open it and look at it from there using a separate application, but I'm not going to do that now. What I want to do is look at the options for that particular picture. Now at the moment, we've stored a copy in the publication, so the picture itself is inside the document, and we don't want to do that because it's making the document very large and unwieldy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to untick the Store Copy in Publication and then say OK. Now I'm going to do the same to this one, Options, untick that, same to the Montage, and say OK. Now I'm going to OK that, and now I'm going to resave the document. I'm going to do File, Save As, and I'm going to call it the same as what it was beforehand. Save it. It says, do you want to write over the one that existed beforehand? Yes, I do. Now, if we go and look at our file size, we can see that it has gone down from 6 megabytes to 277 kilobytes. So that means that what we can do is get our pictures separately, put them onto different disks, send them with that file to the printers, and the whole thing is a lot easier. But it gets better than that, because what we're going to do now is show you how you can have the pictures and the text update automatically, so no matter what happens to the source material, your document is always up to date. Now you might have noticed when we were looking at that little dialog box where we had the choice of including the picture in the document or not, there was a little thing called Update Automatically. Well, let's go and have a look at that now. Pull our document back up again, and this time I'm going to change something on the text. Now, I put the text in there for a reason. Let's click on it. Go to File, Links Manager, and here are the properties for that text1 document. Let's go to Options. It's already not stored the copy in the publication, but what I'm going to do is tick it so it updates automatically and it alerts me before updating. You don't really need that, but it's quite a useful little feature, especially if you want to show people on a class like Masterclass exactly what's happening during the process. So I'm going to tick that so we can keep a track on what's happening to it. And I'll say OK, and that's OK. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do File, Save As, so that those options are kept with the document. File, Save As. Keep the same name again, might as well, and overwrite the one we've got. Now, look what it says here. It's Web Sport. Let's close this down now. Now let's go to the text document that I've been working on. Go text1 document, open it up. Just thinking about it for a second. Great. Now what I'm going to do now is put in Richard's Web Sport. Big difference here. Now this is really useful if you've got documents that feed into another document and these things change. These could be price changes, for instance. These could be sports results. This could be any information which is fluid, which changes on a regular basis. If you have this links manager so it updates automatically, you only want one person to change the source data and the end document will always be updated. So I'm going to save this, close it down, and now I'm going to reopen the document that I just had. And I can do that by double-clicking on my document P65, and this is the warning that I get. It says the text1 document has been modified since it was placed in the publication library. Do you want to update it? Now, if there were lots of different documents on here and all of them had undergone some sort of change, then what I could do is go through them one by one. You see that there is an update and ignore, which applies to each individual element of the document. But since we've only changed one, and we're pretty certain that we want to do that, after all, we've only got one thing in there that could change, we're going to say update all. So I'm going to say update all, and now if we go to the document, we can see that what it says is Richard's Web Sport. Now this means now that this document is being updated with all of the elements that came from the source data, which is absolutely great. Now, there's one other thing which I want to show you, and that is that you can reach this links manager by right mouse clicking on any of these individual elements. So if I was to click on the montage picture here, and then right mouse click on it, you can see that we have got the link info and the link options here. Now what we're trying to do at the end of the day is get it so that you can put this stuff in a format that is acceptable to your printer. So what I suggest that you do is have all of this stored so that you don't have the pictures in the final document, and then you put all of your finished pictures onto a big disk that can go separately with the font. And this is very important. You have to put the fonts in a separate folder as well, because chances are if you're using a fancy font, your printer won't have it on their system, and there are variations on lots of different fonts. So if you want it to look absolutely perfect, make sure you send the right font you want, and it'll look how you expect it to look. Now, if you want a lesson and you want the lesson to be how you expect it to look, then you need to send us an email. And the address is masterclass@sky.tvchannel.co.uk. Or for more information, check out our .tv website, which is www.tvchannel.co.uk, where you will find a tutorial on today's show. Or you could scribble a note to .tv, PO Box 24 121, London, SW18 1WN. Well, Robert, I hope that has sorted out your constellations and you're no longer starry-eyed when it comes to file linking. That, unfortunately, is all we've got time for on Masterclass today, but join us next time when we'll be doing something equally exciting. See you then. Goodbye.
More IT problems get the sword treatment from Kate and the experts in Chips with Everything after this break. Do you regularly amaze people with your gaming skills and knowledge? Then we want to hear from you. Take part in the new season .tv challenge-based game show Games Republic. Write to Games Republic, PO Box 24121, London, SW18 1WN. Or email games_republic@sky.tvchannel.co.uk.